AM 1450, FM 99.3, KNSI, taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate every Thursday morning, 7:23. Saturday morning again at 7:50. Start your home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Hello, Heidi.
Good morning.
All right, first question out of the chute. Why clean the ditch? And this is really, really important because I love curb appeal, right?
Yeah.
When you walk up or drive by a house, when you turn into that driveway, you see this big expanse of everything. It looks like $1 million. And then right across the road, somebody doesn't clean their ditch.
Exactly.
I know the answer to this question.
Yeah. Well, and why clean the ditch? Numerous answers to that, and it's relative to selling. I mean, you want things to look good. Curb appeal is huge, but I really thought about this topic in general. There's a place that I drive by every day. When I'm going in a certain direction,
right.
And this guy's yard is nice, and the summer is beautiful. I mean, he spends time on it, and so here we are. The snow's just melted. Everything looks kind of rough.
Yeah.
But he's carrying 2 bags of garbage, and it's not all from his place, right in front. And so he's cleaning up that ditch, and he probably cleaned the one that's in front of him and behind him and maybe across the street. But the whole concept is that when you drive by a beautiful yard, that didn't happen by accident.
Exactly.
I mean, it takes effort, and it's just a matter of wrapping your head around how does that effort benefit people?
Okay, not just me, if I'm the guy out there cleaning things up, but up and down the block. And we've talked about this, the importance of taking care of your neighborhood. It's the home.
Exactly. So, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, this is the type of guy you want in your neighborhood because he is cleaning up his ditch, and he is going to be a trendsetter for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that we can really encourage people to do, that no matter where you live, be the trendsetter. Be the people that bring in their garbage cans after the garbage is gone, and clean up your yard first, and when there's a storm, get out there and pick up the sticks and do all those kinds of things, because there's a lot of people that it's their first home they've ever lived in, and some of those things that might seem like really common sense, they have to learn it.
I got to tell you a story. I got a guy, I swear, they just moved in 6 months ago. I swear he's a junk dealer.
Oh.
I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you.
Yeah.
In the front of his house, he's got a ratty old couch, a ratty old TV that doesn't work anymore. He's got garland around the screen, the TV screen, and it's just an absolute joke. What can be done about those kind of people other than reaching out to the city, maybe knocking on their door and going, hey, you know what? Look up and down the block here. Does anybody else's yard look like yours? And you might want to be careful how you do that, because you wouldn't want to start an altercation. But on the other hand, look up and down the block. What do you see? And I do think that sometimes those conversations can be softly had, and sometimes it's a matter of lending a hand to somebody, saying, you know what, can I help you?
Yeah, is it something that you want some help getting started on, and doing those type of things? I don't think that we're ever going to evade, that there are places where some people just don't see it. They don't see it. This is how they live or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I think from the perspective of even when you're shopping for your home, those are things that people look for. Like, is there that house where there's 4 cars that doesn't look like it's moved for all year? I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But, so having those conversations before you're going to sell, where you give people an opportunity to improve before you call the city, might be a good thing. But all those little things matter. And that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today, that, whether it's your outside for your curb appeal or the inside of your home, some of those little conscientious changes are what can set you apart.
And their last name may be Clampett, and that's all they know.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
So you have to think about that.
Exactly.
You have to put the judgment in the back burner.
For sure. And when it comes to value, it's a thing. But when it just comes to how you aesthetically live in your neighborhood, a lot of people just want things clean.
Yeah. How about, have you ever walked into somebody's garage, like you're showing the house, right?
Yeah.
And they have just done that floor treatment, and you could eat off the floor?
Yeah.
I want to buy that house.
Well, because it's done already.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants that garage.
It looks so good.
And I tell you what, especially in central Minnesota, that is the thing. There's nothing like when I have relocating buyers, and they go and they're in a neighborhood, and they get into some of these garages, and they're like, oh, it's a heated garage and the floor is so nice, and why do people do this? And I said, well, you'll know in the spring because people will roll their fire pit out and they sit out front, and the kids are on the sidewalk, and there's, people are hanging out in the front of their homes. Garages are an extension of our entertaining spaces in central Minnesota.
Yes.
And so doing that, but sometimes people might not have the funds to do like the whole full epoxy on that, but paint can go a long way, and I even recommend that for people in basements that are unfinished. Putting some paint on a concrete floor that hasn't really been treated very well can really clean up and brighten an area.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't have to be an expensive measure.
What about somebody just doesn't know, right? Because again, maybe their name is Clampett and they just don't know.
No.
Who can I get some suggestions from as to maybe how to work this whole situation out?
Well, you just have to get somebody that is honest and experienced as an agent to tell people, because you can tactfully tell people that, it's okay that sometimes we live a certain way, but the way we sell might be different.
Right.
And so if this is the way you choose to live, that's one thing, but if you want to sell and get your maximum dollars out of a home, sometimes we need to polish things up a little bit.
True enough.
And you go through and you tactfully say those things, and most people are very receptive to it, and they're super honest on that. I just don't see it, or I don't have time, or it's not important to me.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I
exactly.
just didn't know.
So yeah, and so we do that. I mean, that is a thing, and that's something that we start working through with people sometimes 1-2 years in advance to them selling.
One of the things I like the most about talking to you guys is the importance of community and the importance of neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that is all right here, what we were just talking about.
For sure. You want to pay attention to how the way you're living is impacting your neighbors.
It's how we build the country.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Exactly.
Heidi, how do we work with you at VoigtJohnson?
You can give us a call at 320-774-2400 or visit us at VoigtJohnson.com. We've got a great gallery of agents waiting to help you.
Taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate every Thursday morning at 7:23 and again Saturday morning at 7:50. Remember now, start your home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi, thank you.
Thank you.